Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Happy New Year, everybody. So welcome to our weekly community meeting with PWA and the PWA team. And so we've got a really exciting agenda today. And so we're going to go through a couple different things. So Kevin from Vaimo is going to kick us off with a Yotpo demo that you may have seen maybe on social media, but he's going to walk us through kind of the method and the madness of what he put together. And we're really excited to see that come to fruition and kind of shown in a venue context. And so we're going to spend some time with Kevin on that one. Then we're going to switch gears to Ravant. He's got some updates on order history. There's some search capabilities there as well. And then, last but not least, we've got some great progress on the UX for some of the static payment methods. We've had a couple discussions, I think, in the channels around additional payment types, especially with the new extensibility capabilities that we have today. And so we've got some UX there, and also kind of a call for help in terms of the work there that's on the community board. And so those are the three things we've got. And as always, we'll save some time at the end for any questions. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to Kevin, who's going to walk us through the Yotpo work.
All right. Yeah, for me, it's good evening, everybody. Let's share my screen. And first of all, Happy New Year for everybody. Okay, I think that you can see my screen.
Yep, looks good.
All right. What I have is just a blank PWA studio with some dummy data, the sample data from Magento. And yeah, I made a small extension so Yotpo works for PWA Studio. When we started to play with PWA in general, our first decision was made to view storefront, and there a customer asked, "Okay, I need a Yotpo integration," and we customly developed it. We built all the view components. We developed a full custom API that communicates with the API of Yotpo. And now we have a client who is interested in PWA Studio, and he wants, "Okay, but can we do Yotpo?" And I was like, "Oh my God!" Then we have to create a new API for everything. We built all the components and stuff like that. And I was thinking, can we just do how it's work in Magento? And that's just we implement a small script in there, and then we just can place some div tag holders. I'm gonna show you a little bit later in the code, and that makes it much more easier and faster. So yeah, if you can see, as you can see, there is a product list page, and yeah, everything. The reviews are in Dutch. I think it's searching through the language of my browser and then displays everything in Dutch. It doesn't matter. So when I come to the product page, you can see the star rating and how many reviews. And then everything is just injected by Yotpo in here, just to see the reviews that you can ask questions. You can search on questions, and you can configure everything through the Yotpo admin panel. And okay, you can browse to them. You can filter on questions. Let's see, I think there was something with tool. Yeah, and everything is just doing a request to Yotpo and coming back to this page. And it works, yeah, in my opinion, very fast. So that's what we're aiming for, all those things. So what I developed was some components for the star rating, the Q&A and the reviews form, and also the visual marketing. So you can add images and just place a placeholder in here, and it just works out of the box. Okay, I think that's it for the tour. I can write a review just to see that it works. What is this product? Yoga straps. I love yoga. I don't love yoga, but just for this example. My name, my email. and boom, it's done. The only thing is, if, what now is this is just a default styling from Yotpo, but you can override the styling with some CSS and PWA Studio, or override it in the Yotpo admin panel. So yeah, and that's it. Oh, and maybe something else. Because we just are using Yotpo's default JavaScript and how it works in Magento. Let's say I'm here in the Yotpo admin panel, and I want a review carousel on my Yotpo page. Something with 3 items, product reviews. Yeah, that's just the cool part. I just generate this code. I can copy it. I can go to WebStorm. And paste it in here. Product ID. And then when I go, let me check if it's rebuilding. Yeah. I go back to a place where there were a lot of bags, where there were a lot of reviews. And I thought it should work. There's a small issue that I encounter sometimes. It's the cache, that it didn't pick up the changes. Check again. Product. Up, up, up. Where did I place it? I need to form. Okay, should be here. Or do I have something wrong with the configuration in here? Oh, not enough reviews. Maybe site reviews. Site of product reviews. Okay. I sure I got it working. Maybe something else. Oh. This one. Then you have a small review tab on your site. I just save this on the Yotpo admin panel, and then I copy this one. Normally you place this on your highest component, so it's on every page, because now it's only gonna trigger on the product page. That's not what we want, but just for this demo, gonna trigger it. And it's not showing. Okay, why?
Do you want to clear the cache because it's a HTML change?
I can try.
Yeah. Oh, I mean the bundle change.
Okay, that's something that I need to figure out. I prepared this demo and it was working, and now I'm trying and it's like, oh, sorry, I need to enable it. Now it's gonna work. All right. Come on. Okay, yeah. I don't know what's happening. It should work.
Totally fine, Kevin. I think everybody knows where this is kind of going, so I'd love to maybe schedule a follow-up, and if you have a brief demo of that. I think in general, though, I think this is great work. I still give it 5 stars for that, and so this is a common request, and we often get asked about Yotpo integrations from customers and things like that. So appreciate your help, and for Vaimo for taking a look at this as well. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, just take a quick peek at the code. I have a small hook that I integrated, and that just inserts the widget.js file with the environment, with a key that's necessary, and it injects the JavaScript file into the header. And then every time when the list is changing, or when I browse from one product page to another page, then I need to tell Yotpo, okay, you need to refresh the widget. That's how it's happening in Magento, and this is how I implement it also in here. So I have 3 components: the picture widget, the reviews widget, and the star widget. And first it's going to initiate the Yotpo init, so it will tell if the JavaScript file is in the header, then continue with rendering, and then Yotpo will initialize and will display the stars. Else, it will wait until the script is in the header. What was I trying to say? It will wait until the script is ready, and that will initiate the star review. And when I go from a product page to another product page, we'll see the script is already there, so I only need to refresh the widgets. So Yotpo know, okay, there are changes, and I need to update everything that's in there. We just created some small components for the review widgets, and where you just pass down some couple of props that are necessary, like the ID, the price value, the currency, the title, product URL, and the image URL. So it knows when you're going to the element panel that you can see all the information over there. And the same goes for the picture widget. These are just the sample codes that it generates for you, like it was done in here. You just can copy and paste this. We just created some small components, so it's a little bit more, it feels a little bit more like React to use. But yeah, this is our first implementation for an external party, and it works very well. And we're not using the API of Yotpo for all the extra things that we have to do. Now it's Yotpo taking control of everything, and it was a lot faster and easier to implement. But when I posted this on LinkedIn, this gave me the opportunity to talk with Yotpo and to see what we can improve to make it, easier for PWA Studio. I have a meeting with them next week, so I hope I can help them with some feedback and that we can improve this and make this maybe easier for us and for everybody. Okay, I think that was my part. Does anyone have questions?
That's a wonderful demo, Kevin. Kudos to that. I just had a question about, did you guys think of making it an extension by any chance?
Yeah, I asked that to my manager. I need to get approval from my manager, and because Vaimo is not that company that shares code to someone to keep everything in-house, but I love open source, so I'm really pushing that everybody should make those things more open source and can share it with everybody. But this is something that's ongoing, and yeah, I can really hope that we can share it, that Vaimo can share the code. I'm really pushing for that.
Okay. So I was actually thinking, like, even if you want to make it a private repo, like a private extension, it would still work if I'm right, because you can add it to your packages on, and while at build time, the whole extension mechanism is going to pick it up and like add it to your bundle. I know. Is
But
when you update to a new version of PWA Studio, or if you want to change the extension, you don't want to touch the whole code base. That's one of the advantages that extensions give you.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I've told these options to Vaimo, but they are really like, no, not at this point. But we see that more people are playing around with PWA and PWA Studio, and they are saying like, yeah, but if we push this to the community, then they will maintain everything. They will help us and maintain. They come up with new ideas, they improve our code. But okay, it's still a little bit tricky. But yeah, it's a new approach for them, for Vaimo, and we have to convince them. I hope that we can convince them that we can do more of these things. But it's something that we still see in the future.
Perfect, makes sense.
No, Kevin, really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, Yotpo is a well-known extension with Magento in general, and so let us know where we can help and partner on that one. If anything, this is probably a head start for where we'd want to go for that one. So it's definitely, again, appreciate your help and Vaimo for kind of setting this forth. Let us know how we can help and let us know how it goes. So.
All right, will do. Thanks.
Great, thank you. All right, so let's switch gears to order history. So Ravant, you want to walk us through some of the search improvements for order history?
Sure, Eric. Let me share the screen. I hope you guys can see the screen. It's GitHub open right now.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks everyone for joining, and Happy New Year. This is going to be the order history page search. Like you can search through a list of all the orders that you have made. This was done before the new year, but we didn't have the demo before that, so doing it now. Coming back to the demo itself, like once you log in, I've logged in with the demo user at the moment. This user has a lot of orders, but it's hard for someone to search normally, so we added this feature. This gives you the text box, and the whole search process uses fuzzy search. So if you give partial text, for instance, it gives you a list of all the order IDs that match the same text. And this text box has key bindings for enter, so you don't need to always click the button. You can always enter from here itself. This also uses what was that? Sorry, I forgot. But yeah, it internally uses fuzzy search, but there's a way if someone wants to change it to exact search, it's a prop name change, if I'm right. So if you don't want to search for all the partial orders, you can just search for exact text. You would give the exact text. If not, it would just give you saying the order doesn't exist, for instance, something like this. Every time you search, every time something is actually happening in the background, like a background loading, you would see the loading indicator here, like any other section or any other component in Venia does. It's actually a pretty small demo. I'm almost done. Does someone have any questions, any thoughts?
Yeah, Ravant, looks like we got a question from Chris on this one. So how might this work for paginated orders? And is this compatible with B2B, the B2B order search feature in Luma? So I think I know the answer to that one, but in terms of paginated orders, what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, at the moment it's just page search because it's actually merged, but Tommy is working on the pagination part of it. Yeah, it's right here, the very first one. So he's working from the same into the same branch, like the release 9.0. So 9.0 already has the search part that I've worked on. So you can always get into this and get more thoughts. But Tommy, I guess Tommy can answer better than me on this.
Yeah. First draft of pagination is there. It's going to be a little different from how we did category pagination, where we're going to rely on more of like an infinite, not an infinite scroll, but kind of an infinite loading. Like there's going to be like a load more button. I could maybe run through a quick demo if we're light on content, but Eric, if there's anything else we need to get through, I can load up last if anybody's interested in seeing this.
Yeah, let's maybe save that one for next week. For this one, I mean, we see we've got the work here, but I do want to make sure we spend a couple minutes on some of the new UX work for us for both for the static payment types.
Great.
If that's okay. Yep.
Yeah. But
Cool.
yeah, Chris, don't worry, pagination is coming as well, because we definitely don't want to load the entirety of everyone's orders on that page.
Yeah. And the second question from Chris is compatibility with the B2B order search feature in Luba. I'm assuming this is a net new rebuild on that. In general, our B2B work is coming more second half of this new year, unless that was taken consideration when this was built. So, all right, we'll assume that to be the case. Chris, we can follow up if you have any other specifics on that one as well. Make sure you get what you need. So, well, good. All right, so let's talk about some new UX work relative to what we're doing around additional payment types. For those who've been following along with the new extensibility work that was done, we've opened up a brand new way of really starting to think about payment types, shipping, and et cetera, into really how extensions will work and will be featured in the marketplace at some point. And so we've had some discussions about this, but we want to build upon the default kind of out of the box Braintree work that exists today, and account for some of the basic payment methods that that are currently part of Magento 2. And so we've got a couple folks on the team are starting to shore up the requirements of this, but we also have a preview of the design work that we thought would be a really good candidate for some early contribution work. So our fearless designer Scott Hensley has been on the case for the past couple of weeks, and he's going to share some of the work that we've done both in desktop and mobile on this one with the time that we've got. So. Scott, did you want to share from your screen, or I can share from mine? Either way works fine with me.
Yeah, I don't mind sharing. I can do that. So
Okay,
let me just
perfect.
fumble around here a little bit to get things going. But can you see my screen?
We can.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so as Eric mentioned, this is kind of the most basic of basic payments. The check/money order payment, which is really an offline payment method, not to be confused with e-check or electronic funds transfer, which has a little more complexity. So without further ado, here are the designs. Okay, so let me back up here just a little. Sorry. Boop. Oh, no, sorry, everybody. We're dropping the ball here. There we go. Okay. Okay, much better. All right, so this is the mobile view here. And as you can see, I shared a little bit of some of that configuration for this payment type. So we'll assume that, if there are additional payment types, you could order them, and maybe something like pay by check or money order might be kind of down in the stack a little bit. Or, obviously it could be ordered to the front. And if so, then this would be defaulted to open, perhaps. That way, whatever you think the best or most likely payment method for the user is, that's right there ready for them to sort of interact with. But in this case, it's the second one. So they tap that, credit card section closes, the pay by check section opens, and really all you're providing here essentially is some information about this. Please send payment to, or make payable to, and then the address to send to. And maybe some additional notes for users just to let them know that this is something that will need to be done before the order is actually sort of processed and shipped. So, and I guess that might be a business rule, but I assume most people probably want to make sure they're getting paid before they send anything. So just kind of communicating that to the user. They continue on to the process. We've got the summary state of that payment option. And again, kind of bringing that message forward, optional, obviously, but I kind of like just hitting them over the head so that once they see this, if they didn't see it before, maybe they'll take note here, just to set some expectations around that. Of course, they could click here, go back and change their payment type. Other than that, it's business as usual. On to place order, successful order, and again, when it comes to the various sections, sort of noting their payment method here. Again, sort of reiterating where that payment needs to be sent. I assume too there will be an email order confirmation with this information and of course the opportunity there to kind of provide some more details about when things will get shipped and those sorts of things. But that's kind of it. And then if we look at the desktop version, obviously just kind of taking up some more of that real estate, if you will, but essentially just the same. All those ability to edit, messaging, etc. And then here again, payment section, payment information with that. So yeah, that's really kind of it. Again, kind of the most basic thing, just some sort of flat content, if you will, to let them know where to send things and hopefully communicate the nuance of when things will get processed with that payment method. So that's kind of all I've got. If there are any questions or anything, otherwise I'll just kick it back to you, Eric.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you so much, Scott. So any questions for Scott on the UX for this? All right.
All right. Well, cool. Well, if you change your mind or think about it later or have questions about any other thing, UX related, always feel free to reach out to me. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. And just kind of tying off on this one, so you may be asking yourself, great, this looks fantastic. How can I get involved? And so working very closely with the team here, but also Jordan and Lars on our backlog, you'll start to see more of this prioritized. And so our ability really to start getting ahead on these key features and functionality while we really start to shore up things like multi-store, multi-site, product types, and a couple key areas that are very much in our backlog for that one. So we're going to take a slightly different approach where community can help us kind of get ahead on these areas. We've already seen good progress here from Marcin on the mega menu, which we saw a couple weeks ago. We're starting to look at possibly some opportunities around ratings and reviews, Google Tag Manager support. This is just the very, very small beginnings of this. But if you're interested in seeing and or helping with what Scott had shared, this is it. So it's very much in here. And if you're interested in working on this, let us know and feel free to tag yourself on that one and work with a team on that one. So that is that. So again, as promised, a pretty full agenda for the first meeting of the year. Any questions or comments before we wrap it up today? All right. Well, very good. Quick housekeeping notes for those who have been following. Our fearless product manager Andrew will be back next week, and so he'll be leading this meeting. Of course, we'll still be in attendance and such, but you'll see more of him. He's been on a much-deserved break with baby number 2 for that one. So looking forward to having him back, and we've got a lot of great things planned for 2021. We've got an upcoming release in February with PWA Studio 9. And so, as always, thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much for your help and support. And with that, I guess as Andrew would say, onward and upward. So have a great rest of your day, your afternoon and evening and week. So take care.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Al.
Bye, guys.